What's up, everyone? Today we have the mighty Jimmy Callahan from Ill Repute, original bass player and all-around awesome dude. If you want to support the pod, please like, rate, review, subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Also, please consider becoming a Patreon. It's patreon.com/185milessouth. You can donate a small monthly amount that helps out the podcast immensely. You can also go to paypal.me/185milessouth and donate that way. Thank you for all the ongoing support. It is much appreciated. And let's go on with today's episode. Jimmy Callahan, Ill Repute.
"185 Miles South", a hardcore punk rock podcast.
Yeah, today we got Jimmy Callahan, bass player of Ill Repute.
Hello, hello.
Hey. So, I'm pretty excited. Now, I will have done all the original Ill Repute members now.
What do you mean by done?
Well, interviewed everyone on the pod.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
I haven't done any of you guys.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you never know what the kids are talking about these days.
That's right. No, but it's been a pleasure. And now I just got to, we're going to call Chuck tomorrow night.
Oh, okay.
And then I got to get Lipke. And I got to get Josiah.
So, Nishaya.
Nishaya.
Where is Nishaya?
I don't know. Isn't he still in Santa Barbara? Did he move?
Well, he was in Carpinteria.
Okay.
And then, I don't know. I haven't. And then what about Lipke?
I have no idea.
They still have him locked up, or they let him out?
Did he go to jail? Oh.
What?
Oh, what?
He went to jail?
Who? What? Who said what?
I thought it was just the mental institution.
Not
that really.
Guy. Yeah, they're going to shut down Seasucky and turn it back into a metal spot just for Lipke. But no, and then I can finally check off a whole band. That'll feel good. So, but
the whole band, all 15 of them.
Hey, it was a good bunch. So let's start with how did you meet all the guys from the band? You all went to Wainimi High.
Yeah, well, John I met first when I first moved here. I moved on the Navy base in Port Wainimi.
And you were how old?
I was 12.
Okay.
It was the summer of 1974. And John lived across the street from me. And so I hung out more with his older brother. John was a year younger, but it seemed like he was a lot younger.
Sure.
Somehow, at just that transitional stage. I think we were starting to get a little hair on our balls and stuff, and I don't think he did for another 4 or 5 years after that. But.
That's like Ryan Fredette. He hit puberty like when he was 16.
Yeah. So I met John and used to hang around with his brother Mike mostly, and then went to E.O. Green, and that's where I met Tony. He was sat next to me in our algebra class. Okay. And so we, just Tony, we kind of knew each other. And John, when he got into 7th grade, so we'd walk to school together. We'd ride our unicycles to school sometimes, too, me and John. We had a little thing. He was so small. Like you said, he didn't reach puberty until he was 16, so we all had unicycles. And I used to be able to put him on my shoulders.
And ride
and we'd both be juggling.
High? Holy shit!
Not riding, not just junior high like that, but just around the neighborhood. But we would ride our unicycles to school, and people would throw stuff at us.
Well, that would be one way to have the essays not mess with you. Right? They would just think you're a psycho. Right? Who are those guys?
On one tire.
Who are the guys on the unicycle juggling? Don't fuck with them.
But so then didn't meet Carl till high school. Went to Wainimi High, and then Carl and Tony, and then there's a whole group of us that all just ended up being friends, and then John came, the next year, and we're all high school buddies.
Yeah, and outside of music, Carl was saying that you two were into sports a lot.
Yeah, I played football, and Carl was on the football team, and he loved baseball, and I don't know how long he actually played, but I know he played a couple years at high school, and played football all 4. And so yeah, I met him in there as well.
Are you still a sports fan?
No.
There's no teams that you follow or anything?
Well, I like the women's soccer. Okay. I like watching that. And I like watching some women's golf, too. Okay. I've been watching some of that lately. Yeah.
Sometimes I enjoy women's softball.
Women's softball?
Well, it's so fundamental, right?
Right.
I like it.
But I'm not really much of a sports guy. I like the competition every once in a while, but I don't have a team, and I'm glad my kids didn't want to play football.
Yeah,
because
Well, now with all the CTE stuff,
even back then.
Well, yeah, but now we know about it.
Yeah, and I kind of knew it. I felt it, and maybe not so much in my head, but the rest of my body.
Sure.
But yeah, and, you could just tell banging your head, a million miles an hour.
Yeah.
Day after day after day can't be a good thing.
You're like, oh, this is unsafe. I need to get into 1980s punk rock.
That's exactly. I need to get in a pit. Use all this knowledge I've gained from football.
Yeah. So, what year do you guys graduate high school?
1980.
Okay.
Me, Tony, and Carl.
Okay.
And then John was the class of 1981. I'm not going to say he graduated.
Yeah, and then he spends all of 81 in San Diego. So you're not a band yet.
No, we're not a band. We were getting into punk rock. I remember it was probably the summer of 1980, somewhere around there, where John had these records, and we were at our friend Eric Ediswald's house, and he's like, "Hey, check this out!" I think he had like Sex Pistols and the Dickies Yellow record, and we were all, "What the hell is this? Oh my god!"
Did anything stand out to you more than others, or it was just all awesome and new?
It was all new. It was just all. It all kind of sounded the same because you never heard just held out bar chords, just strumming bar chords. It's like what is this?
Yeah.
And then you hear the vocals, and it was just kind of like, it's like, oh my god, I've never even imagined anything like this because we were listening to Boston and Foreigner,
70s rock.
70s rock. That was what the cool kids did. At least at our high school or whatever.
Yeah.
So then but it's kind of like you listen to it, but it's kind of you can never imagine yourself really being part of it.
Of course not,
or whatever. So and then all of a sudden you hear this and you're going, wow, this is like people like us doing this, and why don't let's go check this out, see what it's all about.
Yeah. So you start going to shows as friends before you're a band.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Started going to shows, and I think the first one was like me, Tony, John, Eric Ediswald, maybe one or two other guys, and then just we'd meet more people, and more people started getting into the scene, and then we just all like pile in the back of Tony's El Camino and head down or whatever.
You'd ride in the back of the El Camino to LA?
Yeah. To LA, all the time.
Yeah. Is there shows here at all? Like, do the Rotters play locally?
No, they weren't. I think they were already broken up and everything by then. They weren't even.
Yeah, because they just did the 2 7-inches and that was a wrap, right?
Yeah.
So it's 78, 79, and
right.
maybe they're
and
done.
They were all off to college or whatever it was they did then. And John introduced us to punk rock. He had his friend Tom Niemeyer. He's in the Accused. He was from Oxnard. He moved up there, but he knew John from the beach, or John knew him from the beach, and he let John borrow the records, and he brought him over to us. We're like, this is cool.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Is there any other early shows that stand out to you?
Early shows. Oh God.
I don't know. It's hard.
Okay, one early show I remember was, I'm pretty sure it was X at the Starwood.
Okay.
And the pits were crazy then. I mean, it was just. It was mayhem. I mean, you had to really protect yourself and be aware, whatever. There was no circle. It was just every direction. Yeah. So, I was watching, and all of a sudden I see everyone like on the ground or looking on the ground, and I walk over and see what they're, and it's fucking John Fanos laying passed out on the ground. Like, oh my god! So I pick him up and pull him out. Apparently, he had stage dived and caught someone's shoulders and slammed his head on the ground. So I do remember that.
How many people do you think the Starwood holds?
I'd say a couple hundred, maybe 150.
Yeah, and this is packed.
It's usually packed because it was like Tuesday night was punker night, and they had the disco with Rodney on one part in the bar part, and then they had a little room with the stage and everything for the punk bands.
Oh, so cool.
It was. I mean, we had no idea what we were witnessing.
Yeah,
we were just from Port Hueneme, Hueneme High School, and then next thing here we are in the big city, going, holy fuck, what's all this going on?
Yeah. Do you and Tony start like working on songs together before you get Carl, or while John is still away?
Yeah, before we got Carl. I remember when we first did it. Tony wrote a song, and I'm pretty sure it was "I Won't Kill for You."
Okay.
And so I was originally going to sing, and Tony was going to play guitar, and then we didn't know the rest of the band yet. But I remember Tony would like come over to my house with his little probably 15-watt combo amp.
Yeah.
And we'd plug the guitar in one jack and the microphone in the other jack out of the same amp.
Yeah.
And just, you know, we'd do 2 or 3 songs, you know, whatever. And then...
We still did that in the year 2000, so don't feel bad.
Oh, yeah. See, I mean, you know, I like it like that. I really do.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not like that, but I like DIY, just whatever
You gotta make it work with what you have. Right?
Yeah,
It's amazing.
And you know, and just for me personally, and I think that might be why this has stuck with me though. But I was never into the quality. I mean, you probably could tell, of course. But our thing wasn't really about, you know, how good we were or anything like that. It was more of the event of playing live and
the energy.
The energy and stuff. It wasn't so much about, hey, you know, let's be the best musicians we can be.
But the songs do end up being pretty well thought out by the LP. I mean, you wrote Boogie's cover, so you can't say you don't care about writing a perfect song.
There's no bridge.
Yeah, so that one didn't need it.
Huh?
That one didn't need a bridge.
What one of our songs do need a bridge?
Yeah.
Which one of our songs has a bridge?
Well, I mean, that's what makes Ill Repute so interesting. Like the writing,
because we didn't know what a bridge was.
Well, not you can just go with where the song takes you. There's no like nailed down formula.
Well, it was pretty much
YOLO.
Huh?
The YOLO formula.
Yeah,
you only have once. Just lay it out there.
Verse, chorus,
Yeah.
chorus, verse.
Yeah. So, talk about getting John and Carl in the band.
So I can't remember if Carl was first or John, but for Carl, he always played with his brother in, you know, like a rock and roll cover band.
He was already like a drummer musician.
You're right. He was already a drummer musician guy. He could play, and you know, I think it's still true now. There's not that many drummers. There's more of everything. You know, if you're a drummer in town here, I think you're in like 5 bands. Just because you have to be.
But old and hardcore seems like there's so many drummers floating around. They just never stay in the band the whole time, except for Carl.
True. But we didn't know any of those guys.
Sure.
So we just knew who we knew.
Sure.
And we knew Carl would practice with his brother quite a bit in their garage. So we begged him, hey, can we come over and we'll play when you guys are done. Whenever you guys are done, we don't want to we'll play and you could just bang on the drums so we could hear what it sounds like with drums.
Yeah.
And he finally said, okay. And so he started playing drums. Yeah, because we had to beg him. He didn't want to do it. He's like, yeah, I don't like this. You know, I don't like the way this is. But anyways, so then John was going to come play bass. He hadn't moved to San Diego. He was living down in Coronado. And he came back up and pretended like he couldn't play bass so he could be the singer. And so then I had to play bass. And then John was the singer, like it should have been, you know, forever anyways. But, yeah, so then that was the band, and we kind of like told ourselves with the band. It wasn't like I was thinking about this. Why did we form the band and stuff? And it wasn't really more to make music or be rock stars. I know it wasn't that. It was more like to express our part in the struggle.
Yeah,
it's like, you know, we were like part of the struggle, and it was just a way to just say F you to society and all that. You know, because it deserved it at the time.
Yeah. Well, how do you think the band would have been differently if you sang and John played bass?
Oh, we probably would have broke up after about 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would have been a different take on it. But all you guys contribute to like lyrics and so forth, right?
Yeah, yeah.
As it goes on. I wonder if it would have been a little less happy. Do you think you would have been... Well, see, are you more Void side or Faith side?
See, John didn't write a whole lot of the lyrics for the early stuff. It was mostly Tony.
Okay.
So the lyrics would have probably been the same because that's all mostly Tony. But yeah, I don't know what it would have been like. What knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
And the early stuff, there's a lot of it.
I know. I was listening today how we went to Goldmine and we had like, what song do you guys want to do? And we go, okay, here they are. And I just had a scroll. They rolled out a copper scroll with all the songs on there.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty prolific. You guys lay down like 20 songs.
I mean, that was just because that's just what we did, though. We would, you know, if we had jobs, you'd work during the day, and then at night you'd go to Carl's house and write a song.
Yeah.
You know, and then we had a big like refrigerator box cardboard, and so the first song I'm pretty sure is "I Won't Kill for You," and then "Death Row," and then we just added songs every time, and every day we'd go play every song. So this time today we played 10 songs, and now tomorrow we got 11 songs. The next day, now we got 12 songs. And so, at some point, we were playing 40 songs.
I know, by 82, you got 40 songs.
we played every single one of them that was on that piece. I wish we still had that piece of cardboard.
I know. That would be awesome.
It's in one or two pictures. There's some picture, I think, with John with an army helmet.
Okay.
And
it's in there?
It's in the background.
Yeah. I'll have to dig, find it. That's so cool. So what do you remember about recording?
At Goldmine?
Yeah, the demos.
Just remember... a whirlwind, I remember the guy just being very confused about what was going on.
Yeah, did he stay and listen the whole time, or did he just leave?
Well, I think he had to kind of listen. I think that's what was so irritating for him. But I think he did. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't remember exactly, but I do remember. We didn't know what we didn't know. We had no idea how you did anything. We just wanted to make a demo. We have 40 songs on our piece of cardboard that we brought down there to play every single song that was on there. And so we just said we want to do all these songs, and I don't really remember a whole lot. I just remember being there a long time, and I mean,
You think it was 2 days?
I think it was all in one day.
Holy cow!
Yeah, I think it was 8 hour. I think we had an 8 hour session. So we had, we recorded everything in about 15 minutes, and then
then hung out and drank beer.
Yeah, and then it did take a long time because the guy, we were out of tune. I'm sure, and then, the guy had never heard anything like that before.
Yeah, this is amateur hour. Sorry, bud. My fault. Yours will be fine. This is not, because this was hooked up through the Bluetooth. So, blame me. But, yeah.
Oh my gosh, all right, let's start from the beginning.
I know, let's start over. So, were you that must have been so fun having that many of your own songs recorded. Did you just listen to them all the time?
I think so. But it was, just we didn't know if they were good or not good, or I remember asking the guy at the studio, is this good?
Yeah.
And he's all
it's different.
Yeah, I think that's what he said. He was nice.
Yeah, but it is good. For your first stab at doing stuff, you guys just sound really well practiced, right? Because you practice all the time.
We practiced all the time.
Yeah. It's
all we did. We'd go practice till, from 5 till 7, whatever. And when the sun went down, then it was like, okay, who has the party tonight? Or, who's got the beer money tonight?
Yeah. It just sounds like you guys practice so much. And it's good. There's a reason why it's almost always impressed, right? The Grand Theft Auto guys did it in the 90s, and then Igby just did it again.
Yeah, we had no idea. We didn't.
So then after that, you get picked up by Rodney, and he plays a song on the radio.
Right.
And what did that feel like to you?
Felt weird.
Yeah.
Mostly because it was that song.
Sure.
And we were pretty much Land of No Toilets then, and then
you're writing the Land of No Toilets when that song starts going.
Right. I think we already had some of the Land of No Toilets song. That song was just a fluke song out of the, it's off the charts on our. If all our stuff was on the graph, that'd be way out. But but it was a good song.
Yeah, good song.
And Rodney liked it, and so he asked us to be on the record, and
so you go re-record it.
We went to re-record it in tune this time, I think.
And no.
Yeah, we had to have someone else do that. But I remember going down there, and we had no idea, Zach. We're just some kids, and we didn't know what we were doing. We didn't know what position we were actually in when we were in it.
Yeah.
So we go down there, and
what studio is that?
I don't remember.
It's in L.A. or Hollywood,
though? Right.
And you're going in to do a single song.
One single song for Rodney's record.
Yeah.
But we're not going to take no shit, dude, because we're punk rock now, and fuck everybody and fuck you, and so we go down there with, we had our Oxnard attitudes, because we were 20 years old, 19, 20, and just starting out in punk rock and saying fuck you to, the normal music business.
Yeah.
And whatever. That's what we felt we were doing. So, and then when we got down there, and we'd only been playing not even a year, I don't think, when we recorded that song. So I remember I went down there, and my bass, I only had 2 strings on my bass. I had the E string and the A string. And because I only played the E string.
Yeah.
You know, so I didn't need the other ones that broke, and bass strings were like $25.
Yeah.
Who had $25?
Yeah.
You know, back then.
Yeah.
Even now.
Yeah.
But so I show up, and then I open my case up, and they go, "What the hell is that?" And I go, "What?" They go, "Where's the rest of your strings?" I go, "I don't need them."
Like, I'm not in a funk band, dude.
Yeah, I go, "I don't need them." And they were like, "Oh, they were disgusted." It was so funny. And then I think we brought Brandon down with us, and so Brandon was going to be our manager guy or whatever. So he was gonna work out the contract.
Yeah.
So that went well.
Get 10 free records instead of 5.
Yeah. No, it didn't go well at all. They were like, "What do you think you are, some kind of lawyer?" And Robbie Fields just did post. He's been very nice to us recently, or always has been actually. But Clean Cut American Kid's been doing very well, and he posted that we were the only band that hasn't talked shit about him over the years and whatever. And thank God there was no internet back then. So I'm going to just say a couple things. I'm not trying to talk trash. This is just exactly how it was and how we felt at the time, and not saying we're right or they're right. But so we go there, and they were disgusted by my 2 strings on the bass. They were disgusted that we brought someone to try and negotiate the contract, or whatever it was.
Someone to look out for you.
Huh?
Yeah, someone to look out for you.
Yeah, but they didn't appreciate it. Yeah. And then so while Brandon was negotiating with whoever he was, we were sitting out in the lobby, and they had Playboys on the coffee table there. So we're sitting back, and Tony whipped open the Playboy, and he's like looking at the centerfold, and then Robbie comes peeking in. He's all, "You guys are so amateurish. Put that magazine down. What do you think you're doing?" You know, and we're like looking at each other.
You
going,
have it, dude.
Yeah, it's right here on the thing. It's not like
your magazine.
Yeah, what the hell's going? But they, so we were just going, and so they were like, they didn't like us.
Yeah,
they really did not like us. And
well, that's how sophisticated they are. They have a Playboy subscription and only read the articles.
Yeah.
That's very highbrow.
But I do remember hearing the engineer saying, at one point he turned around to the guy, one of the Posh Boys, the other musicians that was there, that kind of liaison, and told him, "I thought Rodney said we're only going to have good punk rock on this record." I swear to God. I was like, "Oh man." But so we, if we had any kind of smarts or strategy for being in the music business or whatever, that you can't have a better first step than that.
Sure.
And we didn't care.
Yeah.
We wanted to go. We didn't want to do Clean Cut American Kid. That's for the guys that don't let us read Playboys. They do that stuff. We want to go do our.
Well, you make a very hard right turn and do Land of No Toilets,
but it was not really a right turn.
Because you're already going that way, but sonically
it was already there. Okay, yeah. As far as
like
the
guitar
quality,
tone, the guitar tone is gnarly.
Well, that's because Posh Boys they were a little bit more of a professional studio, and plus it was Rodney's record, so they want to make everything sound good. And Mystic, they just pretty much let us have control, which is their first mistake.
Yeah.
No, but so we had no idea how to make a guitar sound or what's a good guitar sound, and they were just kind of letting us do what we wanted to do, which is what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
So it's pretty rough.
It's very raw.
Yeah.
It's very raw, and we've already gone in plenty on the Folgers can story.
Oh right.
Yeah, which is very classic.
Was that the whole record or just a couple songs? I forget.
Carl remembers everything, and he can't really remember. He thinks it was just a couple songs, which is crazy because you can't really tell a difference listening to the whole record.
Yeah, have you listened to the record?
Well, yeah, it's pretty. the kick drum's pretty buried anyway.
Right.
But yeah, so you put out the 7-inch, and do you have a bunch of copies? Like, is it getting out there? Or people
what we did is
people catching on to those songs like as much as they were to Clean Cut?
No, I would say no. And we don't really know how people really were catching on to Clean Cut because that was on the Rodney on the Rock record, and I don't know how many of the kind of people we were hanging around with had the Rodney on the Rock record.
Well, what type of people was that marketed to then? Like college rock or something?
Well, no, it was for punk rockers, but it was more of a, like you said, a sophisticated audience because it had like a new wave on one side.
That's right.
And then it had the punk rock on the other side. So it was
people just dipping their toes.
People just dipping their toes.
Yeah.
And it was what Rodney played. Rodney played a eclectic, music on his show. So that was kind of what it represented. But it's kind of like that, a new wave on one side and then the punk rock on the other.
Yeah. So to go back, you said you brought Brandon with you. Do you remember meeting like those guys, the Dr. No guys or the Aggression guys or
the
Stolly guys?
I remember when I remember meeting Mark Hickey.
Okay.
And I was at the Starwood and I was pissing in the urinal and he's all, dude, you're pissing on my band. And I was all, what? He's all, that's my band right there. And I go, there's an Aggression sticker on the urinal. And I go, oh, you're an Aggression? Yeah. I go, oh, you must be Mark, And then, because we knew who those guys were. They were older. Yeah. And we kind of like independently found punk rock and were going to shows in LA and all that before we even really met the other people in the nardcore scene.
Yeah.
So, so I remember that's when I met Mark. And then, like, Ismail, I remember the first time I saw Ismail, I was at Ventura College in line waiting to register for classes. And he was standing in there with his two brothers. And he had like a weird mohawk and he would wear his green army jacket. And I was looking at him going, oh, those guys are punk rock. Wow, check those guys out. Yeah. Like, they were kind of scary to me and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then when I met Ismail later, I go, oh, you're the guy I saw at Ventura College or whatever. But so I remember one way we really met a lot of people was I worked at this place, El Taco de Mexico in Ventura. Now it's called Evita's.
Okay.
And there was a girl that worked there, Gina Salcido. And so we started talking, and she's like, oh, I go to punk rock. My friends all go to punk rock and stuff. And she goes, oh, I know those guys and these guys. She goes, why don't you come over to Art and Joey's house this weekend? And they lived on Pierpont. Joey was singer for Dr. No, and then Art was just one of the original punk rock guys in the area.
Yeah.
And so we went to Art. I went to Art and Joey's house with her, and I met like Becca and the Scallones, they would call them, Ismail and Jaime and them. And then I would bring Tony and John and our crew all over. And then just it all became a thing.
Cool. And were there not like real shows going on in Oxnard yet? It was mostly like house parties, or
it was house parties. And I think one show, I mean, because there was only like 12 of us.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It really was basically the people in the bands, and then maybe their girlfriends and a couple other guys. But what was the question?
Just how you met everyone.
Oh.
And I think you answered.
Oh, okay.
That was pretty good. So, do you remember like when a club starts popping up in Oxnard, or when you're able to like play legit shows here, or are you just always going to LA and playing?
Pretty much going to LA and Santa Barbara.
Okay.
Because
so Santa Barbara has Casa de la Raza, or
no, it was Goleta Valley.
Okay.
So there were shows going on up there. Maybe like Rock Pile Records would have some kind of band play there every once in a while.
Okay.
And so there was nothing really here. The first show here was the Port Hueneme Community Center show.
Okay.
And that was 1982, right? Okay. Yeah. So
I was 2.
You were 2. You were born at least. So that was 1982. That was my birthday, 1982.
Awesome.
That's right. 20 years old that day. But and then even after that, there wasn't really many shows until probably 84. And then the community center was having shows, and Casa Tropical.
Okay.
And then Eddie was having shows. Eddie wasn't until later.
So the Hueneme show that you're talking about, how many people were there, do you think?
There may have been 100 people.
Okay.
May have been 100 people. And I think, probably 60 of them were from here.
Okay. That's pretty positive. That's really early.
I think I'm, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was only 50.
Sure.
Seemed like 100.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was a decent crowd. It was a bunch of people from LA came up, and we had a good time.
Cool. So before and after the first 7-inch, the Land in the Toilets, do you see like a jump in your popularity, like in playing the LA shows? Are people just familiarizing themselves more? Or do you feel like you're getting fans?
Yeah, some kind of fans. We were never upper echelon,
Sure,
or top tier, or even, we were pretty mediocre as far as that. I mean, as far as
reception.
As far as reception,
sure.
I mean, some guys, some places it was really super positive. Other places it was like, eh.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did good. We were, and that's not, I didn't pay attention to that.
Yeah.
I'll say, honestly. I wasn't,
Well, that's like Gloria playing bass. You're lucky you're not the singer.
So, but,
then it really matters.
Yeah, didn't really. I mean, of course it was cool. We're selling records and people were coming to see us, but it was just like, all of our friends were doing the same thing.
True.
Dr. No was doing, that's what they were doing, Stalag. So that's just what we did. It wasn't like it was, anything.
But 83 is still early. Everyone's doing it by 84. So you're a little early, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember your first time going out of town, like further than Santa Barbara or LA?
I think we went to San Francisco.
Okay.
Was probably right after Land of No Toilets.
Okay.
And we played the Mabuhay.
Okay.
And I can't remember where else we played.
And that's in San Francisco?
In San Francisco, yeah.
Did you guys ever play Gilman?
We played Gilman. That was years later, that was when was Gilman? Late '80s, maybe '90s. Did we play there?
Okay.
Oh, I think maybe we played there in the '90s.
Okay.
Early '90s,
but not in the '80s.
I can't remember.
That's perfectly fine. I don't expect anyone to remember anything.
It's not on your list here, so
I only put down the discography. So, do you remember the writing process for? Like attacking to do an LP being different than, like obviously the demo you were just writing songs, you're brand new, just having fun, new song. 7-inch, I'm assuming you got to go in and you got to write a chunk of songs, right? To do for or no, those are just your next 8 songs.
Exactly.
Is what happens next the
swear to
same?
God, and what happens next is probably the best out of our next 12 songs.
Okay.
Something like that.
So you don't go in trying to write a cohesive record. You're just writing more material.
And
choosing the best stuff and putting it on.
But yeah, right.
Yeah. But it's so, for being like a fast hardcore record, it's eclectic, right? You have like fast blasts of speed and then you walk, there's slow parts like kind of in a dark style and so forth. And
I think
you kind of curate a nice record.
No, thanks. I think a lot of that was just that, when we started going to see bands and stuff, it's like, wow, I really like the songs that, are like this or whatever. So you just kind of try to make that same feel.
Yeah. Did you wrote Book and Discover?
I wrote the music for Book and Discover.
And who wrote the lyrics?
Tony.
Tony wrote the lyrics?
Yeah.
But you wrote all the music?
That's
sick.
Music. Thanks.
Is that just jamming in your room? Like
yeah, just fucking around, going home.
Ding,
yeah.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, I just started doing that because I go, okay, all of these can use the high E.
Yeah.
With it all fits with these, so I'll just leave that on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I started messing. And kind of a TSOL-ish. They were doing a lot of that picking.
That's what I was wondering.
Slows. We always liked the song. I mean, for me personally, and I think most of the other guys in the bands, the best songs that was the ones that would start out kind of slow.
Sure.
And kind of start telling the story, and then all of a sudden it builds up, and now you're just in a bunch of mayhem. And
yeah, well, you guys do a good job with that, right? On the 7-inch with Sleepwalking,
right. So
here with Book and Discover,
right. So that's the kind of songs that when we were at shows in the pit, that's the kind of songs we like to slam to.
Yeah,
slow and then fast, and then slow and then fast.
Yeah, I mean the ultimate being "Sing with California" by Youth Brigade.
Yeah,
the ultimate slow to fast.
Right.
You do your first U.S. tour after what happens next? You make it all the way to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you remember? So first off, Carl doesn't go. So you have Scott Radinsky come and play drums?
Scott Radinsky played drums. I think we had like 2 weeks of practice with him.
Yeah, so how did that work? You know the Scared Straight guys already?
Yeah, we already knew Scott and we knew all of them.
Okay.
It was a real small scene. Those guys were like the younger guys. Mm-hmm. And we just knew him, and Scott. We knew Scott played drums, and Carl couldn't make it, and so Scott said, "Yeah, sure, I'll play."
Yeah, so the other drummer wouldn't have to do double duty of playing drums,
right?
Yeah, and how did that go?
Walsby was the other drummer.
That's right. Yeah, Walsby. And I'm gonna get him on here too.
Good.
It'll be good. But yeah, so what do you remember about practicing with Radisky? What was that like? He was able to listen to stuff because the records were out, right?
Right.
So he practiced at home.
Yeah, he would practice at home. So I don't think we really practiced maybe 5 times.
Okay.
I think it was at his house.
But Carl has such a weird style that it seems like it would be strange to emulate. And
I'm sure he didn't.
Yeah.
Because Carl does have a unique style, and I've noticed playing our songs with other drummers, it's not this, it's not like the way Carl is. And I think see, a lot of that is when we started making music, is we had no preconceived notions of how a song goes or how music, what notes you're supposed to hit after this note or whatever. A lot of times Tony would say, "Okay, I'm going to write a song. I'm going to follow the dots." Or something like that. But so I think a lot of the stuff we came up with, we didn't. I never knew how to play other bands' music. The first music I ever learned how to play was Ill Repute songs. So I think a lot of that, just having that freshness or no contamination somehow, outside. I'm going to say contamination, but I never wanted to learn how to play. I never wanted to be a musician.
Sure.
It was just more wanted to, be in a punk rock band.
Yeah, and you're obviously big fans of the music, but you're not trying to emulate anyone.
And see, the thing that I'm starting to realize with punk rock, I think I can put it in words a little bit, is that, see, back then we were all part of the struggle. Mm-hmm. The bands were the audience, and the audience were the bands.
Sure.
So it was all one big thing. No, I remember John Macias from Circle One. He used to yell at people. He'd play their song and people would start clapping. He'd say, "Don't clap for us, because we're the same as you. You stop clapping for us."
Yeah.
And so you couldn't clap for Circle One.
Yeah.
Because he didn't want you to clap for him, because we're all the same.
Yeah.
And so that's the way we kind of would look at the whole thing. The audience is with us, and we're all just one big one big group against whoever.
Yeah, well, against society, right?
Yeah.
I think that's rad.
So, and what got me thinking that was, Cola Boy?
Yeah.
So I went to his show.
I wanted to come up. It's so hard for me to come up. San Diego to here is terrible.
So I knew Cola Boy. I didn't know he was Cola Boy.
Yeah.
But I knew Matthew. He'd come to our shows and stuff. You know, and then someone was saying something about Cola Boy, and I look up and go, I know him.
Yeah.
But that band Civil Conflict played that night as well. And it was like an anti-gentrification rally kind of thing. And let's help out the Oxnard Pack. And it was the crowd was awesome. There was like a dance crowd, there was a punk crowd, there was a gay crowd. And then when Civil Conflict was playing, everybody was in the pit.
Yeah.
Every type of person was in the pit. Moms, grandma was in the pit.
Yeah.
So that was beautiful. It was awesome.
That's so cool. And then when Cola Boy's playing, everyone's dancing.
Yeah. Everyone's just dancing.
I saw the video. I wish he's coming down to San Diego. I want to say next month. I'll go see him.
Right on.
Yeah. So he's awesome.
He is.
Yeah. I bought the record. I had to order it from Europe because it's like only pressed.
Oh, that's right.
It's only pressed in Spain or some
Spain?
shit. Yeah, it could be France.
I think it's France. I think he goes to France like once a year.
Oh, that's so cool. But I'm like, fuck, dude. You gotta wait for this to come in the mail. Like, I want it right now. But so you do that tour with Scott Radinsky, and
it was fun.
Do you remember any standout shows?
Not really. I remember we played a bunch of colleges.
Okay.
Oh, excuse me.
You're good.
Which was a little strange because punk rock still wasn't, a normal or an accepted form of entertainment.
And that's Eddie starting to book. Because Tony said that he booked that tour, I believe.
Okay, so he got a bunch of...
So that's his start.
That was good. He did. I mean, getting the colleges was good, but I do remember being on a lot of different college campuses and, walking around and going, oh, so this is what college is like.
Yeah. And then the tour ends dramatically.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
We were going really well and played in Pittsburgh. A great show at the Electric Banana. And... afterwards, it was the first night no one stayed in the car.
Yeah, crucial error.
Oh my God, party foul.
Yeah.
But so the it was actually, we had a rented station wagon and a U-Haul trailer, and it got stolen. All our stuff, all our clothes. I think we had our money though, but we didn't have any of our merch, no instruments, just the clothes on our back.
Yeah.
And yeah, it wasn't that fun.
No, it's gotta be. I can't imagine.
And then I heard like we got back from tour, and about a month later, someone wrote us a letter. Goes, yeah, all the homeless people are wearing Ill Repute shirts in Pittsburgh.
That's awesome. And you don't try to carry on with the Scared Straight gear and stuff.
Well, no, that was their gear too.
Oh, everything was together.
We were all it was. Everything was in the trailer. That was all of our stuff.
Yeah.
And we only had one drum set because
Sure. Yeah, if you're sharing.
But yeah, so we had. I think we were going to Washington D.C. was the next stop. So there was some band that we had about 4 or 5 shows with.
Yeah.
They were going to let us use their equipment, and it wasn't up to par. I mean, even that, not that we really we use a folders can, but it was just kind of it would be more embarrassing than anything, I think, at that point. So we just said, let's go home and regroup and see what happens.
Did you ever go again?
On tour?
In the 80s? Yeah, like out further than Arizona?
No.
Yeah, that was your first, the attempt at a full US.
That was the attempt, right.
All the way until Big Rusty Balls?
Right.
Okay. So the years I get confused on for most of Nard is like the 86 to 1990. Like, what's going on? Like,
you asking me?
Yeah.
Oh.
You're around.
Huh?
You're around. So, okay, so the Oxnard Community Center starts doing shows 84, 85.
Something like that.
And so now there's a scene in Oxnard.
Right.
And you can go to shows here and so forth. Ill Repute, everyone's LPs, I think the Aggression LP comes out in 83.
They were first, right?
But Stalag, Dr. No, and you guys, your LPs all come out in 84. So everyone's firing. The scene's on fire. The community center shows are drawing how many kids, you think?
I couldn't tell you.
But over 200.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And that lasts for how long? Let's say that only the big 4 Oxnard bands play. Like, is there a fall off in 85? Is it just as strong as 84? Or like, when does it start to?
Probably more towards 86.
Okay, and is that because bands start changing, or there's like?
I think bands start changing, but I think the bands are changing just because, I'm not sure why bands change exactly.
Well, everyone's getting burnt out, kind of, right?
Yeah, because the punk rock thing was getting real violent around that time too, and it was just kind of like a bummer to.
In '86, it started to be a bummer. You think?
Right, I think '86 started to be a bummer, and '87 was really a bummer.
Is that when Fenders is like firing?
Right.
Okay.
And so we would just, we felt like we were just the background music for punk rock fights.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's no fun.
No. So that starts getting to you, and then you go on hiatus in '87?
Something like that.
Okay.
We just kind of took a break. I think John went to Guitar Institute, and, we were all kind of getting on with our lives a little bit.
Yeah, and Tony and Carl both have kids.
They have kids.
87.
So, in the band, excuse me, like I was saying too, we never really got into the band. We never had a plan for the band. Pretty much our plan was just, that's us 4. This is our band, us 4, no matter what.
Yeah.
So, so a lot of times if someone couldn't do something, then okay, we won't, we'll not do this project because, someone can't make it or whatever it is.
Sure.
So, but yeah, 87, it was just kind of, punk rock was kind of falling off a little bit. It seemed like to me the crowds and
you guys didn't want to turn into a speed metal band.
We couldn't turn into a speed metal band. Didn't want to turn into a speed metal band. So yeah, no, we didn't want to do that. But we came up with some really poppy stuff. I don't know if you heard some of that.
I got everything.
Okay, you got the stuff that's not released and everything?
I do not have the songs that didn't make transition. So Carl has other stuff, supposedly.
Okay. Do you have, like, the stuff we did before, like, 90?
Carl's going to give it to me. The demos for Big Rusty Balls?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
But there's good...
And there's some stuff before that, too, I think, that...
Okay.
It's not...
Do you think he archived everything? Carl's the archiver of the band.
I think I have it somewhere too. It's not.
Well, track it down, Jim.
All right.
Hold on, I got to go to Discogs real quick because I want to get the song right. we're going to talk about doing transition. So you guys, John goes away, comes back, you guys start jamming again. You're just having fun. You go in and record songs. What was your outlook of what you were going to get out of recording that became transition? Did you think that you were just demoing stuff, or do you think you were doing a record?
No, I didn't think we were doing a record.
Okay.
I didn't think we were doing a record. And, so I remember going down there and we messing around in the studio. They put a lot of time in on this, I guess. You know what I mean? A lot of studio time.
Because this is a new Mystic studio that's down in Carlsbad?
Or Oceanside? Somewhere down there.
Okay.
And, yeah, so it was, we were having, it was cool. We'd stay down with Philco, and we'd play some shows down there sometimes. But see, then what happened was after we got into we recorded a bunch of stuff, just messing around, then we kind of dropped the ball and laid low and kind of fell.
Because they thought you were demoing there, but you're going to come back and do a record.
Something
you never
like
came
that.
back and did a record. So they're like, well, fuck it.
Exactly.
Then we just took your record.
Exactly. This is your
gotcha.
record now.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so that song Burning is awesome.
Oh, thanks. That's Tony's song. I love that song. We got some good stuff, man.
Dude, that's a good song. And I love Tony singing. I mean, obviously, John is the classic Ill Repute. When you guys are like a fast hardcore band, it's got to be John, but we'll get into it.
Tony's got some emotion.
We'll get into Bleed and how much I love it.
Okay.
So Transition comes out, and then you guys do a reunion show in Los Angeles in '89, and this is your shining moment, right? You you love when people throw clothes at you. What do you remember about this show?
I remember people throwing clothes at us. No, I remember. Okay, so we hadn't played in a while. We were coming back, and we had some new stuff.
Yeah.
We learned we're not allowed to have new stuff, apparently.
Well, you got to mix it in.
Yeah, so it was the mix was coming.
It's an art,
right? We didn't learn that art. So I'm not sure exactly who the perpetrators were, but it seemed to me that we were in a neighborhood, and there was neighborhood people there. Mm-hmm. It seemed to me that were fucking with us. Okay, and they kept throwing shit. And I just, I was real angry back then. And I just said, okay, next time someone throws something, he's going to get punched. Yeah. And someone threw something, and he got punched. And then, I feel so bad, though, because Tony got jacked up.
Yeah, Tony took a full can to the face.
Yeah, he had like a big old, I think he's probably still got a scar there. But... So I don't know. But that's what happened. But I don't know who they were. I don't know if they were like punkers or a neighborhood. I don't know. I don't know who they were. But that was.
Yeah. So you get some of my Carl follow-up.
That was Operation Ivy on that show too.
Yeah, he was saying Operation Ivy, and there was an Offspring.
Oh.
Yeah. That's a hell of a lineup, huh?
God damn.
Yeah. So, Carl was saying that it's kind of like righty. You guys get out of there. You can't find Tony. You go regroup like in a bar.
I don't remember.
Okay, I need to follow up and ask him, because it was like, how long do you wait for Tony to show up before you just go back to Oxnard and hope he makes it back? But
the proper amount of time.
Yeah, at least 45 minutes, dude. Yeah.
There was no cell phones and shit back then. What are you supposed to do?
Well, that's the thing, is like, how could you even know where you were?
You don't.
I know, that's so insane. But yeah, he was in ER because he got his lip split real bad. Yeah. Oh, that's insane. So after that show, do you just take another couple years off?
That was 89, huh?
89. So you guys come back, and before Big Rusty Balls comes out, you actually have like a pretty successful local run. You're doing like the Ventura clubs and stuff.
LA, playing Eugene's a lot, Pico Rivera.
Okay.
We were playing a lot.
And you're doing well out there?
We're doing well everywhere, yeah. Okay. We were doing well. The early 90s, things seemed to rejuvenate or start up again a bit.
Was there a break after this Ill Repute comeback show, that 89 one? Did you take any time off, or was it just you kept going after that and things got better?
We did take a break.
Okay.
I think we took a break for a year
another
or two.
year.
I think so.
And then 91?
Probably 90,
late
91-ish, yeah, something like that.
Come back and things just start going well. You curate a better set list to please the fans.
Yeah, well, we just played our old songs. But yeah, so when we started, just I don't know what happened to that show. That was really weird. I still don't quite understand that.
But you start playing more old songs. But are you also like
We got all kinds of new stuff.
You're peppering in Big Rusty Ball stuff.
Some Big Rusty Ball stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. And can we talk about that? Like, this is, because you're playing like the Ventura clubs and drawing 300-400 kids.
Decent. Yeah, we're having good shows.
I mean, that's insane for like right before punk breaking.
Right.
It's before Green Day, right?
Oh yeah.
You know, so that's just pretty impressive. And I think, let's see. So the process of Big Rusty Balls, you go and you demo for it first.
We made a demo, and I think we were shopping that around. Mm-hmm. And I remember we played Gilman around this time.
Okay.
And we were up there, and Fat Mike was there. Mm-hmm. He's all, "Hey, you guys," he goes, "Man, I really want you for my label." He's all, "But I just have to totally change your sound." And so he goes, "I don't want to do that to you guys. So it's probably better if you just guys go do your own thing or whatever."
Yeah.
So then that's when we did Doctor Strange.
Yep.
He came along and picked us up, and we recorded Big Rusty Balls. That was, I like that record.
I like it too.
Yeah.
But I like the next one more.
I like the next one more.
Bleed I love it.
I like it too. It's you're younger, so it's more your.
Yeah, well, I wish Bleed could have gone on Fat. That would have killed it.
Right.
You know?
It would have. But see, Bleed shouldn't have been an Ill Repute record.
Sure.
It should have been whatever else. But
well, it hashes back to Burnin', right?
a little bit. Okay.
Yeah, that's what it's like. It's just Tony singing.
Yeah.
You know? And he had the best song on Transition, and then he sang on Bleed.
What's the best song on Transition?
It's Burnin'.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so... Okay, but after Big Rusty Balls, you guys tour. But this is without John. So you have the... What's your take on the John thing?
What is this like? Let's see how many times Jim's been a dick with Ill Repute.
No.
Dave? Huh?
No.
Okay, well, Jim was a dick again on this one too. I think.
Do you think this was you?
Yeah.
You were. I don't, because no one's singled
They're
you
too
out.
nice to say.
No one's singled you out, Jim.
I'm singling myself out.
Okay.
It was mostly me. I'm probably because I had a bad attitude. Just and I just remember that it was frustrating trying to, we want to go on tour, we want to do this, and then some people, okay, well, maybe, but it just came to a head at one point.
I can understand both sides. I mean, on one side, it's like you just put out your first decent LP in 9 years, right. So it's time to go,
right?
But on the other side, you guys have always taken long breaks, and it's been okay. It's just bad timing. And if all he wanted was a month, that's,
Well, I don't even know I can't remember exactly if it was a month or whatever. But, I was very I wasn't cooperative.
Yeah, so, but in your head, you would have had him leave and then keep going and have Tony switch to singing and playing guitar and get another guitarist. How did you envision the band without John?
I didn't.
You were just like, fuck it, break it up.
Well, I don't remember exactly what. I wanted to still go, but just it seemed to me at that point, though, John was drifting away a little bit as well, though. And you could kind of tell because of the record. Mm-hmm. Okay, how many songs is John singing on that record?
Sure.
I'm only half now. And I think a lot of that was... John was a much better musician when he came back from guitar school, so I think he had a lot of that inside him that he wanted to get out. And the thing is, Ill Repute was the only vehicle that any of us had to do whatever it is we wanted to do. So, I want to do this, John wants to do that, Tony wants to do that. And so, I think what happened around that time is John wanted to write his own songs, which, totally understand it. But Tony at the time was a better songwriter, and most of the songs were Tony writing. And somehow it came to, okay, well, why don't you, I can't really sing this one, Tony, why don't you sing this one? Yeah. And then it just turned into, okay, Tony, you just sing all the songs that you write, and I'll sing the songs that I write, which was a mistake, but we weren't looking at it as a, I don't know. We didn't look at the big picture or anything like that. We were just like...
Yeah, it's really hard. I mean, it's hard to say it was a mistake. It was interesting.
Well, I think it was a mistake.
Yeah.
Because how many bands switch singers in the middle of a run, and it's not it's not the thing to do really.
Yeah, but what if you started something that could have been the start of everyone doing it? You never know. I mean, like you don't know if it's a weird. I mean, it's a weird decision, but you don't know if it's a bad decision. You know, just because other people haven't done it.
It's a bad decision, kids.
Well,
don't do it.
In hindsight, I mean, it's
No,
you're
at
looking
the
at
time you could feel it. You could feel it.
Okay.
I'm just I sensed a little something. John not being satisfied.
Yeah.
Maybe is probably what it was, and it's which you can understand. But yeah, I think I felt that, and then he went to Europe to surf or something like that, and then we had our tour plan. He was going to be back, and we had some opportunity in Oregon, and he needed to come back a week earlier, and he wouldn't. So that was
your breaking point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you do a full U.S. though without him.
Yeah.
Okay, and you go all the way. Like how long? Like a month-long tour?
Two broken up about I think 2 weeks and 3 weeks, something like that.
Oh, that's right. You do half and half.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how do you feel about that? You have fun?
Yeah. It wasn't a good time for punk rock though.
Okay.
Around the country.
Yeah.
And and we were how many years later was it?
Since when?
Since the last record?
9.
9 years. So
well, since what happens next?
So so 9 years. People didn't really know who we were. A lot of places.
Yeah.
And if it was, they were like, "Was that the same one? The same band?"
Right, because it looks different.
Right.
Yeah.
So and it was we'd be. I mean, we had some good shows. Don't get me wrong. We played with Rancid in Colorado, which was a great show. We had some really good shows, but then we had some clunkers along the way too. But it was fun.
Yeah. Do you break up after that? You just do a couple tours and
after the Big Rusty Balls?
Yeah,
that was it.
Okay. And then how does it start getting back together, the Lipke era? Like the Bleed? Who's the catalyst for it?
Joe.
Okay.
Lipke.
Okay.
So basically that boiled down to...
Because he comes back, he does like the...
I'm just going to say how I feel, and it might not be right.
Okay.
And
well, let me set up who he is. So Joey Lipke plays drums on the Stalag 13 demo.
Right.
And he came in the 90s, he started doing Edge Records, and I don't remember the chronology of it, but he gets Stalag back together, and Stalag is him and Blake, I think, are the only original guys in that. He puts out the No Motive CD, and he comes to get Ill Repute back together. All right, now you can say whatever you want.
Okay. What was I going to say? I forget.
Well, I was asking who was the catalyst to get Ill Repute together.
I think Joe, I don't want to really say, but Joe got everything back together.
Yeah, you don't have to say anything bad.
Yeah.
So Joe was the catalyst, like, let's do Ill Repute. I'll play drums.
Right.
Okay. And Carl's just not in the question at this point.
Carl is done.
Okay.
He's pretty much...
He wanted to be out of it.
Yeah.
Okay. And then how do you find Nashaya?
Joe.
Okay, so Nashaya was
pretty much Joe's
friend.
project.
Okay.
It should have been, it's pretty much Joe's project.
Okay. But he gets you and Tony, and you put the name Ill Repute on it. And then,
which we agreed to. I mean, we didn't say, that was all part of we said, okay.
And Tony writes most of the songs still, right?
And I did too.
Okay.
I think I'm not as many as before, but I would write some music, and Tony would write lyrics to some of my music, and most of the rest of them were all Tony. But, it shouldn't have been a Repute record.
I don't know. I mean, it's you and Tony. And like you said, you've never had like a vehicle to do your music outside of Repute.
Well, I know, but that doesn't mean that... Okay.
It's better than Transition. I think it's better than Big Rusty Balls.
I think we. Oh, you do.
Oh yeah.
See, I feel we like sold out.
No.
Because look how we sound.
Well,
new school.
You're doing a.
We got to sound like No Effects. That's what Joe. We got to sound like No Effects. Come on, we got to sound like No Effects because No Effects. They're selling. We want to make money. No Effects. So.
Well, musically, it sounds a little bit like that, but it's like you can't with Tony's voice. It keeps it real.
Right.
Like I used to talk about that with Max when we were doing the Somali Pirates band. I was like, man, I don't want to write too many pussy songs. And he's like, well, it can never be a pussy song with us singing on it because we sound like shit. You know what I mean? So it's like, how much can you sell out with Tony's soulful ass fucking voice over the top of it?
By going, this doesn't feel right, but I guess I'll just play it anyways, just because.
Yeah, so if you feel that way, but I don't know. I think those songs are great, and they come off like super, super soulful. Just because I love Tony's voice. So hold on, let's listen in. It's gonna be Ryan, I think. Hey, we're recording, Ryan.
What's up?
Come on in. Come on in. Yeah. You good? Seeing you at the door when someone else shows up. So not a fan of Bleed then.
Well, I mean, I like some of the songs and stuff.
Do you like it now?
I haven't listened to it, and see, for me, I don't know. Something happens with me with music too. Sometimes that it was a bad time when we were recording that record. I wasn't feeling it and stuff, and so I listen to it now, and it makes me feel bad.
Yeah. It brings up the feelings of how you felt then.
Yeah. So a lot of stuff I don't want to listen to.
Yeah.
Just because that,
Yeah, I can feel that. I mean, I think it's a very heartfelt record, so I think that's part of the reason why it gets you in the feels.
Yeah, it probably does. Yeah.
It's really good. It's really, really good. And then you quit.
Yeah. Because
they go on to a different iteration, actually without Nashaya, without Liebke, and without you.
Yep.
It's like the Joe Forrest. Does Chuck come in? Who plays drums on that record? Or is Joey still in it?
I think Joey.
Joey's still in it. Okay. So.
And Chris McKee.
Okay. And so you straight leave.
Yeah, I just got out of there. This is not what I want to do.
Okay. And that's just it.
Yeah.
And then you leave. Okay. And then you take a few years off, and then Ill Repute gets back together for
Mark Hickey.
The Hickey benefit.
Right.
Yeah. And how does that feel?
Not good again, kind of. Because somehow they were going to do it with Fred Dixon playing bass.
Okay.
And I'm not sure how, but just all of a sudden on my email, I got on an email chain with those guys talking about when they were going to practice and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, well, what about me? Can I play the bass for you guys?
Yeah.
But so I had to worm my way back in for that. And that was going good. We were practicing with Carl as things were going, we were having fun again and stuff like that. And then that show fell through or something.
It kept getting delayed, kind of.
That's when Carl had his. He changed his mind about wanting to play and stuff right around that time.
And that's when Chuck comes in.
And then Chuck came in after that.
Yeah.
I think we still had another year maybe before Chuck even. I don't remember. But
Who would have played? After?
I don't think we did. I don't think we had anybody for a little while.
Okay.
I think we didn't
play. You just didn't play.
I think we didn't play.
Okay.
If I recall.
Yeah, and then do you remember getting Chuck in the band? Did he do a tryout?
God, how did Chuck get in the band? No, I think Chuck was just in the band.
Yeah, you just knew him because he's been around forever.
Yeah, I didn't really know Chuck.
Oh.
I didn't know him. Tony knew him.
Yeah.
And then so when we got back, probably 2000, 2001?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Was, we had Chuck. And Tony had known him from Nardcore All-Stars. Was Chuck in Nardcore All-Stars?
Yeah. Possibly.
Yeah? Yeah, so that's where he knew Chuck from.
That's Ryan Fredette.
Sorry, guys.
No, you good. That brings us up to present. So, and now you guys just play once in a while, but all old shit, and it feels good, and
it's fun.
And you guys are good.
We are good, yeah. Everything's good, and it's just cool that I can't believe we're still doing it. To tell you the truth, because I just remember when I was 20 years old, I didn't want to see a friggin' 35-year-old playing, But now it's just a little different. Somehow the whole generations have kind of squeezed together.
Well, and also the music never got better. It's like I don't know what's better than what happens next.
Well, no, I'm just talking about punk rock in general as well.
No, I know, but you're talking about seeing it and being like, oh, I don't want to watch this old man band play or whatever. But
yeah, not when they're singing those songs, I guess.
yeah, but I don't know. It's like I want to see the originals play.
Cool, I'm
the
happy
original
to do it.
Music. Yeah, I know. You guys seem very sincere when you do it, and we're very excited to have like, you know, Ill Repute is like the Oxnard band, I think, and you guys aren't embarrassing. You know, I would tell you if you guys were. You know,
that's good to know.
Yeah.
We're not embarrassing.
No, it's great. Well, you talk about not wanting to see like an old man band.
Yeah, okay.
And it's like Brad. You see that shit.
We would see know.
People
we
bring
know.
You see people bring out the carcass of the band, and here it is. Right, and it's like, oh, it's kind of cool. I like to hear it, but you know, but you guys, the front three people are original members.
We should like each get our own Ill Repute and have battling Ill Reputes.
Yeah,
like the other bands.
That would be a terrible idea. You guys, what you got going now is pretty rad.
Yeah, it was fun. I'm glad we could do it, and you know, who knows? Maybe there'll be some surprises coming up in the next year or so too. So we're
gonna do a new Narco comp, and you guys have to do at least a song for it.
Cool. Who's we?
We're just
us, everybody.
Yeah, the scene is gonna put it together. Cool. We'll figure it out. Yeah. No, I mean it's. In my opinion, it's the perfect time to do it.
Because there's a lot of new bands right now.
Yeah, I think that when the Nard, like the one that Tony did, like it was just kind of a bad time to do it. Although a noble effort and the greatest layout, the greatest layout and packaging that I've ever seen in my life.
It's pretty awesome.
It's amazing. But right now is the time to do it because of the spread. If you think about like the youngest band that's kicking ass compared to the oldest band that's kicking ass,
it's never going to be.
It's never been like this before. Right. So it's like. And
so that's what I'm saying too. Like the generations are squeezing together as far as that goes, you know.
Totally, and I just think that you have these like special moments in time that don't last that long, especially in punk, where like the turnover is so big, or anything can happen. You know, like tomorrow there could be nowhere to play. You know, or everyone breaks up. Ill Repute and Civil Conflict break up, and we're like, well, what do we do with ourselves? You know, so that's why now is the time to do it. And we're going to figure some things out. A few of us got to put our heads together. And our wallets or our credit cards. So. But yeah. Anything else you want to get into?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. Yeah. Do you feel like you've been well represented?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. I think you did great, Jim.
He was a good bowler.
Jim's a good bowler. Yeah, Team Ill Repute. What's up? All right. Cool. Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.